Good day, everyone. Welcome to lecture number 16 of Theory of Computation. And in this particular lecture, we will be discussing about the non-regular languages. Okay. So before discussing what are non-regular languages and what is this Myhill-Naredi theorem, let's repeat what we have done so far. Okay. So what we said about the regular language. So if I have a regular language, okay, what does that mean? A regular language? It means one of the following. So what? First, there exists a DFA to recognize this particular language. Second, or there exists an NFA to accept this language. And the third is there exists a regular expression to represent this particular language. If one of the following exists, then we say that the language is regular. Okay. So we were discussing about the finite automatas. Okay. Finite automatas. So basically, if we can see what is a finite automata, what it is doing. So this finite automata is a computing device. Okay, computing device. And it has multiple states. Or we can say, when we are saying computing device, we can say it has multiple, instead of states, we can say multiple configurations. And at one point of time, it may remain in one configuration. Okay. And what after that? So it is a computing device, or we can say it has multiple states or multiple configurations, and it reads input. Okay. It reads input. And we know that for reading an input, it has to first store an input. Okay. And so we can say that it stores input in memory, and then reads input one by one from memory. Okay. And we can say that memory, instead of memory, we can say it has a tape. Tape is a kind of memory. Okay. So that means finite automata has a tape, input tape, and this input tape contains input string. And what is our finite automata? It reads input from input tape. Okay. And we know that for reading any data from a tape, for example, magnetic tape, you may have seen a magnetic disk in your computer system. So for reading data from an input tape, we require a head. Okay. So if it is a computing device, for example, this is a computing device. So this computing device has a tape. This is its tape. And on this tape, we have input. Okay. Let's suppose we have input here. For example, A, B, B. Okay. And this computing device has an head. This head. And it reads input from this particular tape. Okay, computing device reads the input. After reading the input, it computes. Computes means it changes its configuration, or we can say changes its state. change status configuration. So it changes its configuration, and after changing the configuration, this head moves left. Okay, and it moves left to read another input. So it reads another input, computes, changes its configuration, again moves left till it reaches the end, or we can say the stop button. Okay. So we can say that head moves from left to right. Fine. And this procedure is repeated till we reach the end of the string. Okay. So this is a computing device, or we can say this is finite automata. You can see that our computer, realistic computer, for example, that we are using right now, this computer, it has multiple configurations, we know. Okay. Multiple configurations. And it also has a memory. Okay. Memory. So that means this computing device can mimic our computer. So we can say our computer is a finite automata. Okay. So our computer, the current computer that we are using, it is a finite automata. Okay. And we know that this finite automata can solve problems, and those problems correspond to regular language. So what are regular languages? We know these are the languages. Regular languages are the languages that correspond to problems that can be solved by finite automata. Finite automata, we mean to say a computing device with finite resources, finite amount of resources. So we can say our computer that we are using, it can solve problems, those problems that require finite amount of resources. Okay, so those problems can be solved by our finite automata, and those problems correspond to regular languages. And so by this logic, what are the non-regular languages? So we can say that non-regular languages correspond to problems that cannot be solved with finite memory. Not be solved with finite memory. And we know that a regular language where corresponding to problems that can be solved with finite memory. So non-regular languages correspond to problems that cannot be solved with finite memory. Okay. And our aim is to find a or we can say find non-regular language. So how can we say a language is non-regular? Okay. So to answer this question, that how we can say that a language is non-regular, we have to first keep in mind that how we prove a language is regular. Language is irregular. How can we prove a language is regular? We can prove a language is regular if we can design a DFA or an NFA or a regular expression for that language. If we are able to design a DFA or an NFA or a regular expression for that language, we will say the language is regular. Okay. Likewise, how can we prove a language is non-regular? How can we prove that? So by using the simple logic that we can prove a language is regular if we can prove that we cannot design a DFA for that language. Here, why are we saying only DFA? It is because DFA covers NFA as well as regular expression. Because DFA can be any NFA can be converted to a DFA, and any regular expression can also be converted to a DFA. So we can prove a language is non-regular if we can prove that we cannot design a DFA for that language, or we can say, if we can say that there is no DFA, there is no DFA to recognize this language. If we are able to prove this for a language that we cannot design a DFA for that language, that means that particular language is non-regular. Okay, and our aim in this particular lecture, or we can say in this particular video, is to see how we can prove that for a particular language we cannot design a DFA. And to understand this, let's start with one example. Okay, so let me rub this and let's start with an example. So let's take an example. Consider this particular language. L is equal to A raised power n, B raised power n, such that n belongs to natural numbers. Okay, so we can say that L, or I can write it like this: L is equal to W. W belongs to A comma B star, such that W is equal to A raised power n, B raised power n, where n is a natural number. Okay, so let's take this particular language as an example. Okay. Now let's say we have to prove whether this particular language is a regular or non-regular. Okay, so for example, let's say, so first you have to understand what is this language, this particular language. So this particular language is this. It contains the following strings. So this language contains strings that start with n A's followed by n B's. So number of A's and B's are equal, but first we have A's, then we have B's. Does this language, can we represent this language by this regular expression, A star, B star? Can we represent it? Can you guess? No, we cannot represent. Why? Because A star, B star, this language means starts with A's and ends with B's. Okay, but A and number of A's and number of B's can be different. For example, A, B, B, B. This string is represented by this regular expression, but it does not belong to this particular language L. So this regular expression does not represent this particular language. Fine. Now we have to prove that this particular language is a non-regular or whatever. It is a regular language or not regular. Let's say it is a regular language. So let's say, or let's assume it is a regular language. Okay. Okay. So if it is a regular language, what does that mean? It means there exists a DFA. Okay. Let's design that particular DFA. Let's say this is the DFA. Okay. Or let's create a DFA. So let's say this is a DFA and it has some final states and some non-final states. Okay. So I am not making all the states. I am making only few of the states. Fine. So this is a DFA. Now let's take any two strings. For example, let's take these strings A5, B5, A2, B2, A5, B5, A5, B2, A2, B5. Okay, let's take these following four strings. So this string belongs to L. This also belongs to L. This does not belong to L. This does not belong to L. So that means if I give this string to this DFA, it should be accepted. This also should be accepted. This one should be rejected. And this one should also be rejected. Let's first consider this string A5, B5. Let's say after consuming first 5, so it is like this A, B, 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 B. So let's say after consuming these 5, A, it has reached to this state, Q state. Okay. So after this A, if B, 5B comes, if 5B comes, it will go to a final state. Why final state? Because this string is accepted. Likewise, let's take this particular string, this one, A square, B square. Okay. A square, B square, let's say after consuming 2 A's, it reached here, Q dash. So after consuming A, and after consuming 2 B's, it will reach to a final state, B. Okay. So now consider this particular string, A5, B2, it should be rejected. That means A5. So A5 means I am going here, Q. Then B square. B square means I will go to which state? Non-final state, if BB comes. Likewise, A2, B5. A2 means that I will go here, Q dash. On Q dash, if B5 comes, that means I have to go to a non-final state. B5 means there may be some states in between, and after consuming 5 B's, it will reach to this particular state, which is a non-final state. So now consider these two states, Q and Q dash. This Q and Q dash. Can these two states be same? Is Q equal to Q dash? Is it possible? Can we say Q is equal to Q dash? So let's first say, let's say Q is same as Q dash. Q is same as Q dash. So that means this Q and this Q dash is same. And we know that Q on seeing 5 B's, it should go to final state. Okay, because on Q on seeing 5 B's, it should go to final state. Now let's consider this string A2, B5. A2, this string should be rejected. Why? Because this string does not belong to this language. Okay. Now let's consider this DFA in which we have assumed Q is same as Q dash. So when this DFA takes A square, where will it go? So after taking A square, it will go to Q dash. Since we said Q is same as Q dash, so that means instead of Q dash, we can say it goes to Q. So on Q, if it sees 5 B's, so these 5 B's, it will go where? Final state. So that means if Q and Q dash are same, so what does that mean? It means that it will accept this string. But this is a contradiction. Why? Because we said that this string should not be accepted because it does not belong to this particular language. What does that mean? It means Q and Q dash cannot be same. So what does that mean? Q and Q dash cannot be same. So what was Q? Q was a state where we reached after seeing 5 A's. And Q dash was state where we reached after seeing 2 A's. Now there can be another state Q dash where we can reach after seeing 3 A's. So can this Q double dash be equal to Q dash or Q? No. Why? Because if you assume that Q double dash is same as Q, let's say you are assuming Q double dash is same as Q dash. Okay, let's say you are saying. Okay, so what does that mean? It means, for example, if Q double dash is same as Q dash, now we know Q dash. When we can reach Q dash, we can reach Q dash when we see A2, 2 A's. Now from Q dash, if 2 B's comes, B2 comes, so it will go to final state. And because of that, A square, B square will be accepted. This string will be accepted. So now, since we are saying Q double dash is same as Q dash, now what is Q double dash? Q double dash is a state where we can reach after seeing 3 A's. Okay. So now if we are saying Q double dash is same as Q dash, so we can say that instead of Q double dash, we can say we reach it to Q dash. So after seeing 3 A's, we reach it to Q dash. And we know on Q dash, if we have 2 B's, we will reach to final state. So that means this DFA will accept this particular string as well. But this string should not be accepted. Why? Because this does not belong to the particular language. So that means our assumption is wrong. Q dash is not same as Q double dash. So these are different states. Q is different, Q dash is different, Q double dash is different. Simply, let's say Q triple dash is a state where we can reach after seeing 4 A's. Likewise, we may have how many states? So we may have A raised power n states, or we can say we may have n states, at least n states. If n is infinite because we know that n belongs to natural numbers, n belongs to n natural numbers, and n can be infinite. So that means in this particular DFA, how many states are there? There are infinite states. And we know that in a DFA, we cannot have infinite states. So since we cannot have infinite states, so that means we can say we reach to a contradiction, because we assumed that there will exist a DFA. But here we are proving that if there exists a DFA, that particular DFA should have infinite states. Why infinite states? Because there are different states where we can reach after seeing some part of the string, and all these states are different from each other. They cannot be seen. Okay, and this will result in infinite states. That is a contradiction. So that means there won't exist a DFA. Okay, so let me repeat this again. Let me rub this and let's repeat it again to understand this. So let me rub. So let's summarize or let's repeat it. What we are saying, that let's say we have a language, this particular language, a raised power n, b raised power n, where n belongs to natural numbers. And we have to prove whether this language is regular or non-regular. And I said, so please note that here we are explaining it with the help of an example. But after explaining one or two examples, I will generalize this particular scheme. Okay, how we can prove a language is regular or not. Okay, so what I am saying, so let's assume that this language is regular. So if we are assuming it is regular, what does that mean? There exists a DFA. And we know if there exists a DFA, that DFA should have finite states. Why finite states? Because we know that every DFA have finite states. Okay. Now let's consider that particular DFA. So let's say this is the DFA. Okay, so this is the DFA. Now let's consider two strings from this particular language. So let's consider these two strings, a raised power k, b raised power k, a raised power m, b raised power m. Okay. So how many such strings are possible? Infinite. There are infinite such strings. Okay. Now let's suppose if I give a raised power k here from the start state. So let's say after consuming KAs, so it reaches to a state Q. Okay. And after reaching state Q, if it sees BKs, it should go to final state because this particular string will be accepted. Now, similarly, let's suppose it is going from this direction. If it says M is, it goes to state QM. So let's suppose this is state QK. Okay. And on QM, if it sees BMs, MBs, it will go to a final state. Why? Because a raised power m, b raised power m is accepted. Likewise, a raised power k, b raised power k will be accepted. Now on this state, a raised power q, if it sees mb's, b raised power m, mb's, okay, will it go to a final state or a non-final state? It will go to a non-final state. Why to a non-final state? Because a raised power k, b raised power m should be rejected. Why it should be rejected? Because it does not belong to this particular language. Likewise, on this particular state, QM state, if it sees KBs, so it should go to non-final state. Why? Because a raised power m, b raised power k should be rejected. Why it should be rejected? Because it does not belong to this particular language. Here we are assuming k is not equal to m. Okay, so this is the DFA. Fine. Okay. Now this QK state and QM state, what can we say about these states? So which are these states? These are intermediate states. Intermediate states. QK is a state where we can reach after consuming KAs, and QM is a state where we can reach after consuming MAs. Okay. Can we say QK and QM are same? So for example, qk and qm, how many such states are there? For example, there can be q1, q2, q3 dash 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 qn states. So q1 can be a state where we can reach after consuming 1a. q2 is a state where we can reach after consuming 2a's. q3 is a state where we can consume 3a's, and qn is a state where we can reach after consuming n-a's. So these states, these particular states, how many such states are possible in this DFA? There are how many possible states? N. So if n is infinite, so that means there are how many states? Infinite states. However, if these states are same, or we can say if some states are equal, okay, then there will be less than infinite states, or we can say there can be only finite states. But we have to prove that these states cannot be same. So here we are trying to say whether these two states, any two pair from this, whether they can be same or not. So let's say they are same. Let's say any two such states, QQ and QM are same, they are equal. Okay. So if we are saying that these are equal, what does that mean? Now let's see what does that mean. If I give this string to this DFA, this particular string, AMBK, we know this string should be rejected. But if we are saying that these two states are same, let's see what will happen. So if these two states are same, I am giving which string? AMBK. We know that if I see AMS, where will I reach? So after consuming AMS, where will I reach? I will reach to state QM. Okay, because we have said here that after seeing MAs, I will reach to QM. Now we are saying QM and QK are same. So that means I can say that I reach to state QK. And I know now what is remaining? BK is remaining. On QQ, if we give BK on QQ, this state, QQ, if we give BK, where we will reach? We will reach to a final state. Okay, so that means in this particular DFA, where these two states are same, this string will be accepted. But this is a contradiction. Why this is a contradiction? Because this string should not be accepted, because this does not belong to this particular language. So our assumption is wrong. What was our assumption? We assumed QQ is equal to QM. So QQ is not equal to QM. Okay, so these are different states. So if these are different states, so that means all these states here, all these states are different from each other. So if all these states are different from each other, so that means in this particular DFA, how many states are there? It has infinite states. But we said that this is a DFA, but here we are proving that it has infinite states. So that means it is a contradiction. So if it is a contradiction, what does that mean? It means that our assumption is wrong. What was our assumption? Our assumption was that this language is regular. So our assumption is wrong. So that means this particular language, A raised power B, A raised power M, is non-regular. Okay, so this is how we have proved a language is regular or not. Fine. So now from this particular, we can say from this particular example, we understood. So what we understood, we said that we have to, so before generalizing it, let me introduce one concept here. So the concept is distinguishability. Okay, so we have to we will generalize the example for all the examples for all the non-regular languages. But before that, we will understand this particular concept. What is distinguishability? Okay. So what is distinguishability? So let's say if we have any two strings, X belongs to sigma star and Y also belongs to sigma star. And let's say L is some language. L is some language. Fine. So what we are saying that let's say we have two strings X and Y. These are the two strings. Fine. And what we are saying, and let's say L is some language, and let's say W is also some string. Okay, W is also some string. If X dot W means concatenating X with W belongs to L, and concatenating Y with W, Y dot W does not belong to L. Then we say X and Y are distinguishable relative to L. Okay, so if X dot W belongs to L and Y dot W does not belong to L, or it is vice versa. Vice versa means X dot W does not belong to L and Y dot W belongs to L. So that means one of these is in L, belongs to this language, and other does not. So that means these two strings, X and Y, so they are distinct strings and they are distinguishable relative to L. And we write it like this: X is distinguishable to L, Y relative to this particular language, relative to language L. So in our previous example, we were having language L is equal to A raised power N, B raised power N, such that N is a natural number. Okay, you can see here there, if I take any string, so let's take S1 is equal to A raised power 3 and S2 is equal to A raised power 5. Okay, and let's consider W is equal to B raised power 5. You can see that S1 dot W, what is S1 dot W? It is A3B5. And S2 dot W, what is S2 dot W? It is A5B5. So S1 dot W, this A3B5 does not belong to L, and this S2 dot W belongs to L. So that means S1 and S2 are distinguishable relative to L. Or I can write S1 is not equal, we can say, relative to L. So what is S1? A3 is distinguishable by language L as compared to A5. So what is distinguishability here? X, if X is some string and Y is also some string, and let's say L is some language. Now if we have some other string W, such that after concatenating X with W and Y with W, one of them belongs to the language and another does not belong to a language, then in that case we say X and Y are distinguishable relative to L. So here I have given an example. Okay, so what we are doing, so this is about the distinguishability. So in our previous example, where we were proving this particular language is non-regular, what we did, if you can see what we did, we first found these strings. So A raised power K, A raised power M, A raised power S, or I can say A raised power 1, A raised power 2, A raised power 3, dash, 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 A raised power n. Then what I was saying that, let's say I was proving that q1 and q2, likewise q3 dash 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 q raised power n, that these states are distinct. Distinct means that they are not same. Okay, so how I was proving it, I was getting another string, for example b3. Let's say b3, I was saying that if I combine b3 with a1, b3 with a2, b3 with a3 dash 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 b3 with an, now a1 b3, a2 b3, a3 b3 dash 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 an b3. So from these, this belongs to L, this does not belong to L. Likewise, this does not belong to L. Similarly, this does not belong to L. So here you can see that B3 is W. Okay. Now, if we take A1, let's take it S1. A2 is S2. A3 is S3 dash dash dash. If you can see that S1 is distinguishable by L as compared to S3. Similarly, S2 is distinguishable as compared to S3. S3 is distinguishable with others as well, S4. Because one of this belongs to a language and another does not belong to a language. Okay. So on this basis, we can derive a theorem which is called Myhill-Nerode theorem. And this particular theorem is used to prove whether the languages are regular or not, whether a language is non-regular. So this theorem is used to prove whether a language is non-regular. So you have to keep this in mind. So it is used to prove whether a language is non-regular. So let me prove this language, or let me write this theorem. So what is Myhill-Nerode theorem? Okay, we will relate this with our example that we have discussed right now. Okay, so what is Myhill-Nerode theorem is saying? So it is saying let L be a language over sigma star. So let this be a language over sigma star. And after that, it is saying if there exists a set S belonging to sigma star. So this is a set of strings, So it is saying if there exists a set of strings which belongs to, or which we can say which is a subset of sigma star. So let me rub it and write it in clear words. So S is a set which is a subset of sigma star. It is a set of strings. Then first point, it is saying if S is infinite. Second, the strings in S, or we can say any two strings X comma Y belongs to S. So let's take these two strings. The strings in S, or we can say the pair of strings in S, X, Y belongs to S. So if these two strings, any pair of string is distinguishable by L. What does that mean? Distinguishable by L. It means that I will have a string W such that X dot W belongs to L and Y dot W does not belong to L. Or we can say X dot W does not belong to L and Y dot W belongs to L. So the strings in S, or we can say the pair of strings in S, is distinguishable by L, then L is a non-regular language. Then L is a non-regular language. So this is the Myhill-Faraday theorem. Now we will relate this particular theorem with our example that we have discussed, and we will also prove this particular theorem. So let me rub this and let me rewrite this particular theorem, and let's prove this particular theorem. Okay. So this is Myhill-Faraday theorem, and what it is saying, let L be a language over sigma star. So let's relate this with our example. What was our example? The example was L is equal to A raised power n, B raised power n. Okay. So this was our language. So it is saying let L be a language over sigma star, and this is a language over sigma star. Okay. And it is saying if there exists a set of strings S. So let's make this S. So our S was this set. For example, A raised power 0, A raised power 1, A raised power 2, A raised power 3, dash, 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 A raised power n. This was our set. Okay. So this set, if you can see, it contains the strings that belong to sigma star. So it contains strings of this form, A raised power n. For example, A, this is one string, A is another string, A is another string, A is another, and likewise. Okay. So this is our set such that S is infinite. So this is infinite because it has infinite number of strings. Any pair of strings. So any pair from this, for example, if you take any pair, A1 and A3, A1 and A3, we have already seen that A1 and A3, these are distinguishable relative to L. Relative to L. What does that mean? It means that there is another string, for example, this string, BQ. And if I combine this string with A1, A1BQ, and if I combine this string with A3, A3BQ, so this does not belong to L and this one belongs to L. So that means these two strings are distinguishable relative to L. And this is true for all the possible pairs in this set. So both these conditions are satisfied in this particular language. Then L is a non-regular language. So we can say L is a non-regular language. So that means whenever we have to prove a language is non-regular, not regular. Okay, so keep this in mind. This theorem is only used to prove whether a language is non-regular. Okay, so if you have to prove a language is non-regular, what you have to do? You have to find this particular set, this set S. Okay, and in this particular set, you should keep this in mind that any pair of strings should be distinguishable by this L. Then you can directly conclude by Myhill-Faraday theorem that L is a non-regular language. Okay, and why this is true? You can see why this is true. So this is true because we assume, so let's assume, so I have already shown you, let's assume L is a regular language. Regular language. Okay. Then we have shown. So I have done this previously in this particular lecture itself. So if we are taking these strings A1 and A2, let's suppose this takes automata to Q1, this takes automata to Q2. Likewise, A3, this takes automata to Q3, A4, this takes automata to Q4, dash 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 AN, this takes automata to QN. Okay, QN state. So how many states are possible? These states, at least these number of strings. So how many states are possible? At least these number of strings. So how many such strings are possible? Infinite. So that means the DFA that will accept this particular language, that particular DFA should have infinite states. But this is a contradiction. Why it is a contradiction? Because a DFA cannot have infinite states. So by that means our assumption is wrong. This language is a non-regular language. And for saying that these are infinite states, we have to show that all these states are distinct. They are not same. And how were we able to show that these two are distinct? We were able to show that these states are distinct by showing that if we take any pair of strings, so let's suppose A2 and A3, okay? And if we assume that their states Q2 and Q3 are same, then we are again reaching to a contradiction. What contradiction? By using this assumption that Q2 and Q3 are same, our DFA will accept this string as well and this string as well. But this should not be accepted. These strings should not be accepted. So we will reach to a contradiction. Or in other words, we can say that these two strings, A2 and A3, these are distinguishable by L. What does that mean? These are distinguishable by L. It means that if I take, there will exist a string, some string, let's say BQ. And if I combine BQ with these two, A2BQ and A3BQ, so this will reach to a non-final state and this will reach to a final state. Or I can say this does not belong to L and this belongs to L. So these two strings, A2 and A cube, are distinguishable by L. Or in other words, we can say that they will take the automata if it exists to different states. And if there are infinite number of such pairs, that means how many states are there? There are infinite states, which is a contradiction. So whenever we are saying that two strings, for example, if I have any language, okay, and now I am able to find this set S, okay, and in this set S, if it is infinite, okay, and if I take any pair of strings X, Y, and these two are distinguishable by L. What does that mean, distinguishable by L? It means that X takes automata to Q1 state and Y takes to Q2 state. And if Q1 and Q2, these two states, these are different states. Why they are different states? Because these two strings are distinguishable by L. And since these are different states and our S is infinite, so that means how many states are there? Infinite states. So that will prove that the language is a non-regular language. Okay. So this is how we use Myhill-Narady theorem to prove a language a non-regular language. And I have shown you a proof also why this theorem is true here. But it is your job to write a formal proof of this particular theorem. So it is your class assignment. Okay, write a formal proof. I have explained it here, but you have to write it formally. Okay, now let's take another example of a non-regular language and let's prove that particular non-regular language is non-regular by using Myhill-Narady theorem. So let's take this particular language. L is equal to WCW such that W belongs to A comma B star. Okay, and sigma is A comma B comma C. So we have to prove the language is non-regular. So we will prove it using Myhill-Narady theorem, but you should prove it. So it is your class assignment. prove it without using Myhill-Nerodi theorem. So for example, I have proved this particular language, a raised power n, b raised power n, without using Myhill-Nerodi theorem. We have proved this. Then we generalized this to Myhill-Nerodi theorem. So in the similar manner, you should prove it by using this particular approach, the approach that we have used to prove this particular theorem. But here I will show you how to prove this using Myhill-Nerodi theorem. So what is this language? So this particular language, it contains strings. So what is the format of strings? So the strings are that first we have W, then C, then the same W. For example, A, B, A, C, A, B, A. So this is W, this is C, this is W. So this part and this part is same, and they are separated by C. Okay. So let's take this. Does this string belong to this particular language? No. This one belongs to this particular language. Okay. And we have to prove that the language is non-regular. And for proving that the language is non-regular, what is the first part? The first part is you have to find this set S. Okay. So you have to find the set S. After finding this particular set, this set S, okay, then you have to show that any pair of strings in this set are distinguishable by L. If you are able to do that, then you can prove, then you can directly say that the language is non-regular by Myhill-Nerodi theorem. Okay. So how will we prove this particular, how will we find this particular set? So you have to think about this. So how you have to think, for example, let's take this particular set as this first part, as this W. So this W can be anything. Okay. So let's take S is equal to W belonging to A comma B star. A comma B star. So this S contains all these strings. For example, A, B, B, A, B, A, C. Sorry, not C. A, B, B, A, B, A, B, A, dash, dash, dash. Any possible string that can be created using A and B. So you can see this set is infinite. Okay. Now we have to prove that any pair of strings in this particular set is distinguishable by L. So let's take any pair. Let's take AB and B. Let's take AB and B. So how will we prove that these are distinguishable by L? So we can prove that these are distinguishable by L if we are able to find this string. So we need a string. So in our actual definition, we were using W. We need a string such that if I combine this string with AB and with BA, one of it should be in L and another should not be in L. So for example, I need for AB, what should I combine with AB such that it should be in L? So I should combine CAB because it will repeat. This is W and this is also W, this is C. So this string will be in this language. So let's take this W as CAB. So if I combine this W with AB, so combine W with AB, it will be ABCAB. And combine this W with BA, it will be BACAB. Now you can see this one belongs to L and this one does not belong to L. So we can say that these two strings are distinguishable by L. Likewise, if I take any other pair, for example, AAB and A, what will be the W? Are these distinguishable by L? So you should choose W such that one of these belongs to L and another does not. Let's say, what can we add to this such that it belongs to W, it belongs to L? So we should add CAA. So let's take W. So add CAA to this and add CAA to this. So this one does not belong to L and this one belongs to L. So these two are also distinguishable by L. So you can check that any pair of strings from this set, it is distinguishable by L. So we have, what was Myhill-Naredi theorem? So if this is a language, we have to find a set. This is a set. And second part is we have to see that this set is distinguishable by this L. If we are able to do both these things, then we will conclude that L is a non-regular language. Okay, so here I have proved that L is a non-regular language by using Myhill-Naredi theorem. But I have given you this assignment that you have to prove it without using Myhill-Naredi theorem. So now let me write some of the examples that you should try on your own by proving those languages as non-regular by using Myhill-Naredi theorem. So the first question is exercise 1. Prove L is equal to W belongs to A comma B star such that W is a palindrome string. L is non-regular. Okay. Example second is prove L is equal to A raised power n such that n is a power of 2 is a non-regular language. Okay. And example 3. Prove L is equal to W dot W such that W belongs to A comma B star is a non-regular language. Okay. Example 4. Prove L is equal to A, B raised power n, C raised power n. Oh, sorry, let me rewrite it. So L is equal to W belongs to A comma B comma C star such that W is of the form A, B raised power n, C raised power n is a non-regular language. So prove these problems that these are non-regular languages by using not only Myhill-Naredi theorem, but by using an approach without using the Myhill-Naredi theorem. So by both the approaches, you should prove that these following 4 languages are non-regular languages. So with this, I will stop this particular video and let me summarize what we have done in this particular video. So in this particular video, we discussed the first thing is what is a finite automata? Finite automata. What are regular languages? So we said regular languages correspond to problems that can be solved by a computer with finite memory. Okay. Third, we discussed about non-regular languages. Okay. And the fourth is we discuss the Myhill-Narady theorem that is used to prove the language is non-regular. Okay. So it uses the concept, this Myhill-Narady theorem uses the concept of distinguishability. And you can see the same concept of distinguishability we have used in minimizing the DFA. Okay, the distinguishability concept we have used to minimize the DFA. Okay, in our next lecture, that is lecture number 17, we will discuss another approach to prove a language is non-regular. Okay, and that particular approach is called pumping lemma. So in our lecture number 17, we will be discussing about the pumping lemma, and pumping lemma is an approach to prove a language is non-regular. Okay. Likewise, we have Myhill-Narady theorem. So we discuss Myhill-Narady theorem. In our next lecture, we will discuss about the pumping lemma. And after completing this pumping lemma, we will complete the discussion about the finite automata and regular languages and non-regular languages. Then we will move on to another computational device. Okay, so let's meet in the next lecture where we will be discussing about the pumping lemma. Till then, goodbye.